So we're going to play that. Now, what we're going to be doing, this is where the robot that I have here is starting out, but we're all going to be starting out over here. And our first event is going to consist of us trying to be the first one to get here. And during that process, we're going to be able to push each other off and fling each other all over this arena while trying to dodge these boulders. I think it's going to be a pretty fun event. What are we at? 9:07. Let's give 3 more minutes for everyone to join. Anyone else have any questions while we're waiting? We all pretty much good? Oh, we got some chat action over here I haven't seen.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll tell you what. I think we're all here. If anyone else shows up, we'll help them get up to speed. And just like that, I'm going to show my entire screen.
I just want to point out, though, I think this is the largest group we've had yet.
Definitely for a tutorial. We've had larger groups for like just get-togethers, but this is definitely the biggest actual tutorial. I'm so glad to see that everyone's so into this. Like I'm so happy to be able to like bring this to you guys. Raul couldn't be here tonight, but I'm so happy to have him as also a resource who's working in the industry. We're all in a really good place. We're going to continue providing this value, and God willing, in the next few months, we're all going to have our own autonomous mobile system at home. That's what I'm really looking. Oh, Tony says he's going to switch to Ubuntu. Let's give him like a minute or two. Tony, please let us know as soon as you have switched. Oh, I guess he's not. That makes sense. All right. So does anyone have any cool ideas as weapons for their virtual robots for the virtual battle? I know Jose had some pretty cool ideas. You're going to get a medieval flail going or something like that, right?
Yeah,
So
that was one.
This is like a total joke halfway, but like a potato cannon.
Oh, hell yeah. Joe, potato cannon would be an excellent weapon.
Shoots potatoes at the enemy.
Awesome. You'd shoot a little spear, and you wouldn't have to program like the bullet action because it's just a potato.
Yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea. Potato, I'm going to add that to the list of approved weapons. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take advantage of this and hit the bathroom real quick. Hopefully I'll be back before Tony. Give me like 2 seconds and I'll be right back, guys.
Well, don't chat too much. Please calm down one at a time, okay? So yeah, I'm eating.
Have any of you guys actually started playing around with the URDF, trying to create your mess around with the robot at all?
Tony's back.
Not
I
yet.
have not.
Yeah, not yet. I just finished the tutorial today for getting everything set up because I've been really busy the past couple of weeks. But I was, noting down the stuff that it's written in on sticky notes around my desk.
All right. I see Tony's back. Let's get this started. I will exit out of this and get into a good position to start my screen. All right, now I will share. Okay, here we go. All right, can everybody see my screen? Can everybody see their beautiful faces and my code and my terminals?
Yep, it's all seeable.
Raul brought up a really cool tool that I really have been using and really like. It's called Terminator. I'm not going to use it in this tutorial because I know that people are going to be used to using the terminal, and but for future reference, get this app. It's amazing. You can have a few different terminals in one. Like you can, if you don't see how this is useful yet, you definitely will as time goes on. But for now, we're going to be using this terminal. So what we're going to do?
Question.
Absolutely.
Because for a couple, Sorry, my voice went out. For a couple of the things, we're needing second terminals, but I'm noticing the terminal has like a second tab option where it'll give you like the ability to create tabs. Does that work for making a second terminal, or would that end up like messing things up?
No, that,
It works, but it's just really hard to keep track of it. It's harder to keep track of, in my opinion. I mean, who knows? Maybe people are doing that. I don't. But I like to have a different terminal. I actually sometimes put a different terminal in each corner. Jose, you said you're recording, right?
no, Olivia started.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
recording.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's start it, and then we'll start the tutorial.
No, I started already. We've been
Oh,
recording the
beautiful.
whole time. Yeah.
All right, then. So yeah, getting back to here, what I was saying is, this application is amazing. I've seen a lot of people use it, this Terminator terminal, but for now, we're going to be using the normal terminal just so that we can all be looking at something that we're used to. Let me get out of here to get a completely fresh environment. So the first thing that we're going to do for all of you who have already done this, bear with us. For everyone who has not done this, you're going to go to this address that is up here in the address bar. For the people watching on YouTube, it'll be in the comments. And I'm going to paste it here into our chat so that everyone who does not have access to that yet can go to that GitHub. Now, for everyone who hasn't done this yet, what you're going to do is you're going to click on that. It will take you here to my GitHub's ROS2_WS workspace. If anyone has been working on other ROS projects or tutorials, you may already have a folder that's called ROS2_WS. If you do, change its name real quick and just do it this way because it's going to be a lot easier than editing every single command I give you. So, is anyone not on this page yet? Perfect. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go to code and you're going to go to download zip. I already have it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Of course, up here in the corner, we're waiting for that to load. And once it does, we are going to go into our downloads folder, find it. Here it is. And then we're going to, of course, decompress that. Drag that into your home folder. I'm not going to, I guess I'll do it. So if this happened and it put the name of the directory at the end, what you're going to want to do is go to rename and then just leave ROS_WS. I'm actually going to put a 2 here just because I already have that workspace. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag this into our home directory. And now, that is, of course, if I can find it, that is, of course, where it is. So I'm going to be using ROS2_WS. I just kind of did this to show you guys, so I'm going to delete that now. Now what we're going to do, does anyone not to this point yet? Feel free to interrupt me if you're having any issues, no problem at all. Is anyone not at this point yet? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open our terminals. You only really need one, but I like to have the 2 there. Now we're going to go CD space, and we're going to put ROS2. And as soon as you do that, if you don't have any other files or folders, if you don't have any other directories, excuse me, that begin with those letters, what you can do is you can press tab, and it'll complete it for you. Much easier way to find your file paths. So for now, we're just going to go into ROS2_WS, and what we're going to see in here, if you put ls. Now here, what you're going to see is a bunch of different folders because I already kind of got this to a different level. But what you should see in here right now, if you haven't already done this, is the README and the SRC. What we're going to do in order to generate these folders and what needs to be inside of them is we're going to put in :build. Run that. And now when you put in ls, you should see all these folders. And inside of those are just, files and folders that will help you actually be able to run your environment and to run your projects. Now from here, since we already put in :build, I want everyone to go into the GitHub and down here, scroll down a little bit to where it says important commands, build and execute your own environment. We already ran this. So now we're going to run this command right here. What this is doing is it is sourcing a file called setup.bash. Those of you who have been with us for a few different sessions now will be very familiar with what that is. For those of you who are not, it's just sort of a file in Ubuntu, and I think also other versions of Linux, that sort of tells your terminal where it needs to be looking in order to put it to execute the commands that you're about to type in. So everyone copy that and put it in to your terminal. Control-Shift-V is the key combination. And you should see this. If you see any errors, let me know and we'll address them. But you should just see an immediate jump to the next line. That means everything went fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. This is where some of us may have issues. If not, that's even better. And you know, I'm sorry, before we do this, I forgot about a very important part of this. So what we're going to want to do is remember that bash RC file that we sourced. We're going to want to open that and add these 4 lines at the end. Remember, if you've already done this, skip this step, but this is very important. We're going to open up our second terminal, which is currently in the home folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to press / I'm sorry. We're going to put in get it. If you don't already have get it, then you're going to want to go here. If you don't already have the get it Explorer, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run sudo apt update, of course, and you're going to run sudo apt install get it. That's all you have to do. I'm going to do it even though I already have it, just so that everyone can be on the same page. Put in your password. And yeah, the 0 upgraded because I already have it, but that should install what you need in order to actually use the software. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in get it, GEDIT, and then we're going to put in .bash RC. That's the name of the file we're going to be editing. And that will open this. As you can see, I already have the 4 lines that we need at the bottom of this file. Now your bash RC will almost certainly look very different than mine. These are just sort of all of the variables and all of the logic that we need in order to do what we need to do from our terminal and from our system. So anyone who does not have these 4 lines, what I want you to do is go back to our GitHub. Now, don't try to copy them at once. Try to copy one after the other. You're going to copy that, and you're going to paste it right here. Did I close that? Here it is. You're going to paste it right here into your bash RC. Now, I already have it, so I'm going to delete it, but you need these 4 lines, and you need to also have all the file paths that we have there in order to make this work. So I'll give everyone 30 seconds to add these 4 lines to the end of your bash RC if you've not done so already. And in the meantime, while everyone does that, does anyone have any questions? Are we good to go? Anyone lagging? Anyone stuck? Awesome. Does anyone not have that done yet with the 4 lines of code? Don't feel afraid to say yes. Beautiful. Now we will continue. All right, now that we all have those lines of code, we're going to press save, and we're going to close that. We should have everything at this point that we need to make this work. I'll tell you what, since we just changed bash RC, we are going to have to make sure that we do this from the home folder. I'm sorry, the ROS2_WS folder. Don't do it from home because it's just going to confuse the system. Make sure you're in your ROS2_WS folder, and then you're going to grab this command, which for the people on YouTube will be in the comments. Let me find this one. Here we go. So we already did a colcon build, but we're going to do it again because we just changed our bash RC file. So we're going to go back to that ROS2_WS, type colcon build or copy from here. All right. Now we're going to source our bash again because we changed it. For everyone who wants to copy and paste much faster in the terminal, Control-Shift-V for pasting. So we sourced that. Now, the moment of truth. Let's run the commands that will open our virtual world. This command right here, ROS2 run teleop. We're going to click on that copy. Don't try to write it out because there's a very good chance that you'll have some kind of issue there. Copy that from the GitHub. Control-Shift-V to paste. I'm sorry, that was the teleop. Hang on a second. That was the teleop. Okay. Let me make sure I'm giving you guys the right one. Teleop twist. Okay. Okay. I was looking at the wrong code segment. So you're going to come down here in the README document, and you're going to go down to important commands. Make sure you're in that section when you copy this. I'll edit this later to make it a little easier to read. I didn't notice that discrepancy. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want, yeah, again, I'm in the wrong block. Make sure you go down here to common issues. I'll make sure to edit that. Common issues, you already ran Qualcomm build, you already sourced your environment. Now grab this, ROS2 launch my robot bring up. We're going to copy that. And wish for luck as we paste this into the terminal, see what happens. If your open was successful, and it will take a few minutes. If you see some errors, don't get scared. What we're looking for is this Gazebo window, because for some people, if you don't follow the steps exactly the right way, it might not even open Gazebo. It might open Gazebo and just not open. So just give it a few seconds, give it some time to load. And what you should see is what I'm showing you right here, this world with a little robot right here. We're not going to be going over the creation of robots in this tutorial. We did that in our last tutorial, and we're thinking about revisiting it. Let us know what you think about that in the Discord, in the chat section. And yeah, so for this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to be showing you guys how to make something beautiful like this, or maybe not beautiful. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it looks pretty cool. It looks like a video game. So we're going to be making a video game style Gazebo world to get you guys sort of interested in all this and to get you guys coding in your files. So was anyone unable to open that world, or was everyone able to open that successfully? Oh, that is beautiful. So everyone's got that opens. What we're going to do then is we're going to go back to this window where we are running our world. And I want you to all press Control-C. That will shut everything down, clean ends to all the processes going on there. That was just a quick check to make sure that we can all do that. Now what we're going to do is in the terminal that's not in ROS2_WS, we're going to use that for Qualcomm building if we need to. In the other terminal, what we're going to do is we should be in our home folder. So we're going to quickly use a file path to jump in to the directory that we need to be in order to run a Gazebo world. So what we're going to do is we're going to press CD, that's change directory, and then we're going to put in ROS2, press tab, and it should autofill. If it doesn't autofill, feel free to write it out yourself. And then we're going to put in src/, and then we're going to actually go back to this and find out what the name is. You know what? Another thing we can do, another way to do that probably makes more sense, is to just enter the src folder, press ls, and see what's in here. That's a refresher. So what we're going to want to do is just copy this. Another way to do it is to copy it. So we're going to press CD, and then we're going to enter the name of that folder. That's pretty much does the same thing. And now we're going to see what's in here. And it looks like our worlds folder is in our My Bring Up folder. So we're going to enter CD, that worlds folder. And now we are here. We're all going to open now Gazebo with the alternative method, which we're going to be using when we're creating our worlds. What we just did was opening the world through ROS with an actual robot inside of it. Exciting stuff. But for this tutorial, all we really need to do is open the world. So we're going to type in gz sim. Again, all these commands will be in the description or in a link in the description. gz sim. And we're going to find the world that we want to open. We're going to use the name of that world. So let's say Waterworld SDF is the world we want to open. We can type that. We don't have to copy it. So let's type in gzsim and then waterworld.sdf. That should also open only the Gazebo folder without RViz. You get a few errors here. That's no big deal. Some things I have to change, some textures that aren't loading from Open Robotics. So don't disregard that. It should take a few seconds to open this. So don't worry if it lags a little bit. And you should be in the same place that you were, but without that little robot. The little robot won't be there because we're not using RViz. We're not actually opening the robot file. We are only opening a world. Is anyone not able to open the world through that method? Everyone good? Beautiful. So here's what we're going to do. Again, we're going to exit out of all that. Control-C. clear the screen. You'll see that all of the windows for Gazebo have closed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press the up button in order to get your previous commands. We're going to erase waterworld.sdf. And what we're going to do, before we finish that command, let's all go to the worlds folder in Visual Studio Code or whatever code editor you're using. We're going to right click, new file. Now call this world whatever you want, as long as it ends in .sdf. Let's call this new world.sdf. Enter. Now we have this new world here. Let's see what happens when we open it. gzsim new underscore world.sdf. Enter. Didn't open. Why would that be? Let me do a quick check to see why that might be. Trying to run a colcon build. That's just a thing that I do, like, just in case. Before I try to figure out what the error is, just run a colcon. But it very well, especially in this early date in our process of learning how to do this, feel free to just colcon build. Things might work after you do it. If not, then yeah, start looking in Google to see why things aren't working. I see why things aren't working. There's nothing in this document at all. So what we could also, I'll tell you what, we're going to copy. Yeah, here's what we're going to copy and paste everything in waterworld.sdf. This is going to give you a little bit a better feeling of sort of what's going on here with the code. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy everything in here, Control A, that'll highlight everything in the document, and then press Control C. If you accidentally press Control X or something and it all disappears, just press Control Z to undo. So we're going to press Control C. Now we're going to go into new world.sdf and we're going to paste Control V. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the bottom, the very bottom of that file. It's almost 3,000 lines long. And I wrote that all myself, and it was serious. It was a little bit of a process. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come to the end of the tag, the include tag that includes the ocean model. We're going to start highlighting there. Scroll up, 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 up. Scroll all the way up. Take a few seconds. And then scroll, while you're holding the key so that you highlight everything, scroll back down until you get to this central tower block. Leave this lighting block there. We're going to need that. What we want to get rid of is everything from central tower all the way down to ocean. You know what? Let's leave ocean in there. Let's leave ocean in there so we start with something. It'll look a lot nicer. So let's actually grab it from here. After ocean, go all the way up there. Shouldn't take more than a few seconds. And then again, we're going to come down here all the way to central tower. Delete. And what you should see is after this scene tag, it's going to go right to ocean. We're going to leave a few spaces there so we remember where to add things. File, save. You shouldn't have to colcon build from here, but you know what? We're going to do it anyway. Colcon build and source your environment. Now we're going to go back here and try that again. Clear that, and then we'll open the world again. And it works. And all you see is the ocean, because the only thing there is the sun, the ocean, and some physics. So we pretty much have a fresh world here. Was anyone not able to open that fresh world with the ocean in it? Speaking out. Josephine, I see a hand raised. Is that a question?
It's a question. It's more just a UI thing.
Contribution. Feel free.
Well, I noticed that your SDF files have the color along the different tags, and mine does not. Is there any extension you have installed that does that? Because I know that there was one that I installed for the URDFs, I think, that
what you're going to want to
changed
do,
the way they look.
That's an excellent question. I forgot all about that. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down here like you see here, and you're going to want in Visual Studio Code, I don't know about other code editors, but what you're going to want to do is select language mode. Mine already says XML. Yours should say select language. You're going to click on that, and up here, you're going to type in XML, enter, and then you should get the colors.
Okay, thank you. Just because it's a bit easier for me to see what's going on when I get to see the colors.
So much easier like that. I'm glad you brought that up. And everyone else, if you run into something like that, please don't hesitate to bring that up. Totally happy to help you guys out with that. Charles, what was the command? What was which command? Sorry.
I'm sorry, that last one you mentioned for the colors.
Oh, you mean the code block?
Yep.
Okay, so what, you're just going to delete everything between ocean?
No, I'm saying what the color it the way it was. What she was just asking about. I missed that. That last thing you were doing. For
Could someone
coloring the
else help
code
me?
block.
I'm not understanding the question completely.
You have to go to the lower right-hand corner, and in the file, it'll say plain text. You click on that and then type in XML, and it'll get up to what you need.
You're talking about the color of the text. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. So yeah, go down, check the screen right now. I'm actually doing it with us. Go down here into the corner where it says XML because I already did it, but it should say select language mode or select language or something. As soon as you click on that, you'll get this up. You'll get this up here. And that's where you put an XML enter. Perfect. Anyone else still need to do that? Or has everyone got all the colors they need? Beautiful. Yeah, this is going very smoothly. I'm very happy about that. So yeah, everyone just take another look at this. It's an empty world. You know, you got the sun giving us light. We got some physics in there that we're going to talk about at a later date. We will go over that. But right now, I just want to kind of focus on getting everyone having fun and making their Gazebo world and involuntarily teaching themselves linear algebra. So take care of that first. Yeah, I definitely want to install new updates, but not right now. So in order to add our first object, what we're going to want to do, close most of these. Make sure this is all very clear. We're going to leave open our waterworld.sdf so that we can drag and drop, make it a little bit easier. And we're also going to, of course, leave open the file that we're editing. And remember, we are all between the lighting scene block and the ocean block. Notice the ocean block, it kind of looks like not that much code for this really complex. Oh, did I shut it down? Did I really close that? Hang on a second. So it looks like this little bit of code is responsible for this whole ocean, right? The reason is because that code isn't actually specifying any vectors or any positions. What the code is doing is it's basically telling Gazebo, I want to print this model that has this name that is found in this folder, coastwaves_2. Now, what you see here is a URI, kind of like a file path, but thanks to what we did here with our bashrc file, if I can, okay, you all remember what we did in the bashrc file. Let me bring up these lines. The bashrc file is basically telling, these lines specifically are basically telling the computer, we're going to set up this file path. Whenever we type in model : / what we're doing is we're telling the system, this is the file path that we want. ROS2_W, obviously starting at home. ROS2_WS, SRC, and I'm going to bring up models. And in the models folder, that's where we get the rest of our file path. Anyone have any questions about that? Are we good to go? That's a pretty essential thing. If you already understand it, that's great. If you don't, look into that. That's pretty, setting file paths and URIs is a pretty important part of what we're doing. Pretty self-explanatory, but again, if you're just starting out, take some time to look that up and see how that works. Now, what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in here to our models folder. Now, I actually pre-downloaded all of these models from so Gazebo actually has a page of resources. I hope this is the right one. Hang on a second. This course, resources from let's make sure we do this right. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. Give me 30 seconds to actually make sure that we're going to the right place. I actually have it in here in my README. Give me 30 seconds here. Okay, here we go. I actually have it in the README. Not 30 seconds, 2 seconds. So here we are at app.gazebosim.org/openrobotics. This will be in the comments for anyone watching the video. Now these, you can't see the thumbnails for some reason for all of them, but what these are pretty much ready-made models that you can download into your Gazebo world. Now, one way to do that, and I don't recommend, this is one time I don't recommend you follow along, but one thing that you can do is you can go to the resource spawner. This is what most all tutorials on YouTube are going to tell you to do. Tell you to put in the name, you know, find what you want here, put in the name. That's kind of, it works sometimes, but there's a high chance that your XML will be automatically edited, and that's just going to be a huge pain. So I really recommend that you guys do not use this method that all of YouTube seems to want you to use. What you're going to want to do is, and I'm actually going to do this with you guys, all these models you see here, what I did was I went here and I downloaded them. Let's find one that we like. Let's go with, I think I already have the piano. Let's go with the refrigerator. So we're going to click on this refrigerator. We're going to download this refrigerator with this button here. I got that refrigerator in my downloads folder. So what we are going to do is we're going to go from downloads to our workspace, which is here. We're going to go to SRC, My Robot Bring Up. Another way to do this, by the way, would be to exit out of here and to go to your actual terminal. Actually, we're running something in there, but I'll just show you real quick. If we actually are in the folder that we want in our terminal, then what we can do, one second. What we can do is we can put xdg -open space dot. What that will do, it'll actually open the folder that you're trying to get into, which is awesome. Now we just opened the worlds folder, so we're going to skip back one folder to My Robot Bring Up, and we're going to go into models. Now what we're going to do is in our downloads folder, what was the name of that document here? Refrigerator.zip. In our downloads folder, we're going to go down to refrigerator.zip, double click that so that it expands, decompresses, sorry. And then we're going to go over here to this models folder. Now, I like to make everything lowercase just because I like to remember which convention I'm using. So we'll make that lowercase so that we can remember what the name is. We're going to drag that. Make sure you don't drag it into a folder. Drag it into the models folder. Now, I'll tell you what we can do. To make sure that it's there, we can go cd ... to go back one folder, and then cd models, and then ls. Refrigerator right here. So we have the refrigerator. We have it in there. This refrigerator is going to have all the files that we need to actually put this in here. Now, what we can do here is we can pretty easily copy this. Go on.
I am so sorry. My computer just, like, a couple minutes ago crashed out of Ubuntu for some reason.
No worries. It happens.
And I have no idea where we are.
Oh, no worries. So where are you now?
So I am getting back into the, world and whatnot. I saw you grab the resources from the Gazebo website. But that's when my computer kicked me out.
No worries. Are you back in?
I am almost back in.
No worries. Give it a few seconds. And while we're waiting, does anyone have any questions up until now about any of the stuff that we're working on? I hope so. Come on, guys. You don't have any questions about how all this fascinating stuff works? It's pretty cool stuff. So Open Robotics is actually taking the time. It's a for-profit company as far as I know. I think it is. So they've actually taken the time to set up these models and put them up on Gazebo so that people can just pretty much use them however they want. A lot of the models are centered around building rubble models so the robots can figure out how to move through rubble. Different things for the real world. You're not going to see a lot of Gazebo worlds that look like this, or maybe like this, but you're not going to see a lot of Gazebo worlds that look like the world that I showed you, because this really isn't a game engine. It's sort of just created so that people can train their robots, their autonomy, in a realistic world. I like to make it look as cool as possible because I think a great way for us to all learn about this, instead of just, typing things in and making worlds that look like something you would see in that movie Tron. I'd like to have something pretty cool on screen. And there's really not much of a resource drag by doing that. So, why not make something beautiful? Why not test your robot in an area that actually looks cool? Josephine, are you back where we are now?
Yep, I am back. Oh, the world's all loaded up and everything. Not sure why it kicked me out. I haven't had an issue.
Let us know if it keeps happening, and I'll try to troubleshoot with you at a later date. So what you're going to want to do, Josephine, and for everyone else who hasn't seen, you're going to go to this page that you can find down here. Did I really leave GitHub? Did I really do that? You're going to go down to the bottom of the README. Bottom of the README here in the ROS2_WS folder. This will, of course, be in this will be in the description. And you're going to go all the way to the bottom of this. Click on this. It's going to take you, that's what happens. It's going to take you to Gazebo. There we go. It's going to take you to Gazebo, to the Open Robotics resource page. You're going to look through there and just find one, maybe go to the next page. Find one that you like. I chose the refrigerator. It's on page 2 at the bottom. So find one that you like. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to download it. And then you're going to go to your downloads folder, find it in there. It should be in there right here. You're going to double click that. It'll turn into an actual directory. Change that to lowercase just to preserve the naming convention. And I'm going to delete mine, but what you're going to do is you're going to drag and I'll tell you, I'll drag and drop it. It'll just drag and drop it here, and it will show up in the models folder. If you hadn't caught that, I'm dragging and dropping it into the models folder in the My Robot Bring-Up. You're able to get through that, Josephine?
I am getting the stuff
downloaded.
Yeah.
No. Oh, is it taking a second to download? That happens sometimes. Don't even worry about it. So after we download, what we're going to be doing in this lesson is I'm going to show you how to download these cool models, which there's a lot of really cool stuff here. I'm going to show you guys how to download that, and then I'm going to show you the fun part, which is making your own models. There's a few different ways to do that, and I cannot wait to show you guys. How we doing, Josephine?
Doing good. Thank you so much.
Oh, you where you need to be?
What was that?
Are you where you need to be? You caught up?
Yep, I've caught up. I've got a model, and I'm putting it into the models.
All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the new world.sdf. The only model in there is going to be the ocean model, and we know that the ocean model was put in here by the same means. It's called Coast Waves 2 here, but this was put in here by the same means that we're going to be using. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that, the whole thing. We're going to paste it. And here where it says Coast Waves 2, now this is just the name of the resource, but it is good to stay organized. So we're going to put refrigerator here in the name tag. And then we're going to come down here to the URI. In the models folder, all that we're going to delete is this Coast Waves _2. We're going to leave model : / and we're going to leave /model.sdf. Because if you've noticed, all of these folders have a file called model.sdf, sort of a convention. That's why I want everyone to get their stuff from Open Robotics. It's a convention they use. It's going to make our life a lot easier. So we're going to change this to refrigerator. And then, since the folder is also called refrigerator, let me make this easier to see. Since the folder is also called refrigerator, the directory, we're going to type refrigerator. We're going to erase Coast Waves 2, and we're going to put in refrigerator. Beautiful. And now we're going to file save. Make sure that your block is the same as this block. Pretty simple stuff, but and look at this pose. It's at 0, 0, 0 position with 0, 0, 0 rotations. Try to think to yourself, where is this refrigerator going to show up in our model? I'm sure a lot of you already have the answer to that in your heads. If you don't worry about it. But after we file save, now remember, if we were doing this from ROS, we would have to colcon build. But since we're not, we can jump right up in here. We're going to close the world we have right now. Control C, and then we're going to, you can clear your terminal to keep it clean. If I can stop making typos.
Good night.
Hey, how you doing there?
Good night.
What's your name?
Nico.
Nico, I got a cousin named Nico. That's a good, strong name. You gonna be a robotics engineer one day or what?
Are you gonna build robots when you get bigger?
You're gonna be Tony Stark?
Yeah, but maybe I'm like a mega out like.
He said he's gonna make them out of Legos though.
I started when I was 30. You already have a great head start over me. All right, guys.
All right, go to bed.
And pieces of
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back into the terminal where we're in our worlds folder. If you closed out of it, just open the terminal and get back in to this file path. And then we're gonna again GZ space sim space, and then we're gonna put in the name of that new world, new_world .sdf. If anyone did not save your document, you're not gonna see the changes, just so you know. So as long as you've saved, we're gonna press enter. And let's see, look at that beautiful refrigerator. For some reason it showed up backwards. But remember, we put this at position 0, 0, 0. The ocean is also at position 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So we kind of have everything in the exact same position. If we wanted to lower this, maybe we want maybe the refrigerator is partially underwater. Maybe this is some kind of post-apocalyptic world. Well, the way that we actually lower it is what we do is we do it from this pose tag. The first three elements, parameters in this pose tag are coordinates. So this will be X, Y, Z. In Gazebo, when you open your screen, X will be forward and backward, Y will be left and right, and Z will be up and down. So if we want to lower this to about, let's say lower it 1 meter. All the measurements in Gazebo are the metric system. So we're going to talk about these three in a minute. But before we do, what we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're going to edit that. We're going to put -1, not /1, not =1, -1. And what this is doing is it's specifying that the coordinates that we want are 0 in the X, 0 in the Y, and -1 in the Z. File save. Let's close the current world. Control C. Now we're going to run this again. And as we can see, look at that. Look at that. It looks like it was about 2 meters tall because about half of it, maybe a little more than half of it, seems to be underwater. Let's press play, and you see the ocean waves beating against this beautiful refrigerator. Smog. I'm not familiar with that brand, but there you go. So let's all close that. That's how you can pretty much do that with anything. Like you can, let's try, just in case someone here it's not sinking in completely. Let's edit things in the Y direction. The X is kind of harder to tell. So let's put this 10 meters back. So a positive number, we'll put it further back, and a negative number will of course put it closer toward you if you're in the Y direction. File save. Now let's go back to our terminal. If you are still running the last world, then go Control Z. Press up. Should be once or twice. If you've used clear, then twice. SGZ sim new_world.sdf. We're going to run that again. And as you can see, where's the refrigerator? Well, it's 10 meters to the left because we use the positive number. I guess that's kind of not as intuitive because okay, so we're looking at it from the back. Let me actually do this one more time. I want to see what's going on here. So I open it. Okay. So for some reason, yeah. So it looks like positive is going to be moving to the left. I've actually seen Gazebo have that be the opposite case. So just make sure that you're confirming which side is negative. It's pretty easy to confirm that right when you open your file, but just make sure you're confirming that. Josephine, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if the first three numbers are going to be the location, the next three numbers are going to be the rotation, right?
Yes, rotation in radians. So if you try to use degrees, you're not going to get what you want. Now, if we want to rotate this refrigerator 90 degrees, but we don't know how many radians, there are some pretty easy mathematical ways to do that, with pi and with half of pi in diameter. Let's just do it the easiest possible way. So just go into Google and type in 90 degrees in radians. 1.5708. So let's copy and paste this. With Gazebo, it's recommended to round up to the nearest third decimal. So we'll do 1.571. So let's rotate this in the extra. Yeah, okay. Let's rotate this in the, what would be the easiest to see? I guess in the Y direction. Yeah, the Y direction. Oh, didn't paste the right thing. So let's do 1.571. 1.571. So since this is the Y direction, we should see this rotated so that the bottom moves out toward us of the refrigerator. File save all. And if we're running our world, Control C. If not, then just gzsim and in the name of the world, new_world.sdf. And look at this beauty. It's under the ocean, but our transformation worked. And anyone who's taken linear algebra, who God forbid is currently taking linear algebra, I'm just kidding. It's kind of, not the greatest experience in the beginning of that course. But anyone who's actually taking it understands sort of what's going on here. Pretty basic linear algebra. But again, doing this will get your mind into the frame that you need to actually be thinking in linear algebra. Makes the rest of the process a lot easier. So now that we know how to put foreign objects from open robotics and other sources into our Gazebo world, what if we want to make our own models? So what we're going to do is we're going to go again and open our waterworld.sdf, and we're going to find some models that I made for our bot simulation. Let's check this North Tower model. Let's put this in here. Let's copy and paste it just to see it there. And then we're going to do, so just copy this entire North Tower model, this model tag here. And then we're going to go back into newworld.sdf. Let's paste this right before the refrigerator. It's good practice to have your base models sort of above the other models in the code. It's not going to change how it renders, but later when you want to add like parent objects to child objects to parent objects in RViz, that, getting used to doing that is going to help you out. So let's try to get into the concept of, if we're going to have the ground where the refrigerator goes, have the ground first in the file. Just kind of makes more chronological sense. So we put the ground in, let me see, where do we put? We haven't put it in there yet. So again, we're going to copy this from the waterworld.sdf. It should be on line 285. Copy and paste. North Tower, look at this. And normally, if you're copying and pasting from the same document, you got to make sure that you change this name or you're going to get an error. Since this document, this world does not have another object called North Tower, that's fine. So let's see what happens here. Actually, before we even do that, let's kind of go through here. So what we're specifying here is that there's an object called North Tower. It's static. So if I were to put false here, when I start my world, the North Tower will fall through a floor of eternity, because static is what fixes objects in place in Gazebo. And if you set it to false, what you're going to get is a movable object. Now, next just kind of has a link. It's kind of like HTML, where you're setting, for lack of a better term, variables. You're setting like objects for different things that you're going to want to do later. Now, pose. We have this at pose 15 meters in the X, 0, 0, and then no rotation. So that's going to, where's that going to show up? Well, it's going to show up 15 meters toward us from the perspective. Oh, I see someone. Is someone asking a question right now? Oh, I guess not. I think that was my own screen. Sorry about that. Okay.
Real quick,
So
I noticed that when we pasted everything into the new world file, the world name says Waterworld still. Do you want us to change that to the world name that we created?
Josephine, did you not? Yeah, I guess you might not have gone. All right, really quick. Go to, so we're actually working in newworld.sdf. We created that file here. So real quick, what you're going to want to do is go to worlds, go to your, can you see my screen, right? Do you go to the world screen? Yeah, go to the world screen, right click, make a new file, and then call it new_world.sdf. I already have one, so I'm not going to do it, but just type that name in there, and then you should be good. Then you're going to want to copy everything from Waterworld and
I do have Yeah, I have a new world. I'm just
Okay.
saying that in the new worlds file, the world name at the very top, it says STF version,
I know what you mean.
and
Okay,
then
yeah.
Waterworld was copied over. And
That's
I
a
was
good
wondering, do you
point.
want us to change that or do you want us to leave that?
Change that. Yeah, that's definitely a good cast, Josephine. It's not throwing an error, but it is good practice to make sure that all of our worlds are configured with a name other than, yeah, that was a good catch. So new_world.sdf. Definitely feel free to keep contributing like that, Josephine. That's the kind of stuff that really helps us out. I'm human, you know what I mean? I'm a recruiter. Like, I can make mistakes. Everyone feel absolutely free to correct me if there's something that I'm missing. Thanks again, Josephine. So from there, we're going to go down to this north tower where we're observing what's in here. So this pose is pretty much telling us that this object, whatever it is, we'll go through that later. This object is going to show up 15 meters toward us from the center point of 0, 0, 0. Down here, you see two different tags, which both specify the size. Why would that be? Well, this tag specifies the actual visual, what you see within the actual the simulation. So visually, what we're looking at is a box that is 8 by 8 by 10. That's 8 wide, 8 long, and 10 high. This is only going to have 3 parameters because, you don't have to specify, obviously, rotations in the size. So we're going to have that under geometry. Now, under collision, we're going to have the same exact coordinates. Now, why would Gazebo expect us to put everything in twice? Well, because there are a lot of objects that sort of wouldn't behave the same way in a simulation than they probably would in the real world, excuse me. For example, a floor with a bunch of cracks in it. If you render that in Gazebo, you might have your robot running over the cracks and it might get stuck. By separating collision and geometry, I could set geometry to be like one object, and I could set collisions to be a completely different thing. Jose was talking about the potential for cheating in our robotics battles, where you could set the collision different than the visual, so people would see whatever weapon coming at them, and they wouldn't actually see what was coming at them. We're obviously gonna mitigate that. We're gonna make sure that you guys aren't pulling anything like that. Not that you would. I'm looking at you, Jose.
I'm definitely gonna do that.
You're definitely gonna try to do it. We'll catch you. But yeah,
I
so
don't think
that's
it
why
matters much if you can see a potato cannon coming. You can't stop the potato.
No, well, what would happen is you wouldn't be able to see the potato or the cannon. So it would look like you're shooting Charles's robot and you're really shooting Livia's robot. Which
No. Josephine, when you do
it can really mess things up for the person who's trying to figure out what's going on.
No,
That might make for a fun challenge if you were doing it, letting everybody know, hey, we could be lying here, and you got to figure that out as a non-serious challenge.
So Josephine,
not anything that's
you reverse the potato cannon visual from the actual. So when it's pointing back, it's really pointing forward, and then that way they don't know which way you're pointing.
That is an interesting idea. You know what? We could have a crazy battle like that. We could have a battle with rules and then one where anything goes. That would actually be kind of cool. There's a lot of options that we have. And I'm definitely open to suggestions for sure. I can't wait to see what we come up with for that. Raul's talking about getting together a whole system where we have you guys press your keyboards and the input is read by potato nuke and the input is read by Raul's system that he's going to set up. So we're actually all going to be able to play this like a video game. It's going to be so cool. This all is happening, by the way, in a realistic virtual world with software that's actually used by leading companies to test their robots. Pretty amazing stuff. I'm really excited. I hope that you guys are too. I can see that you are, which just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So let's go back here. And we're going to continue looking at this. So we have one set of coordinates for our collision, another for our visual. After this, we're going to see just a little bit of lighting coordinates. We're going to go over this. I want to make sure that I don't overload you guys. So we're going to go over the sort of physics and more complex lighting stuff later. But just know that this is for lighting. Down here, this metal tag is again, we're not going to go into this right now. We want to get you guys building. But this is pretty much just telling us what texture within the model's textures. The reason that you can see, actually I have to open the world. We haven't even opened it yet. What am I doing? You'll see what that does. That basically puts a texture on the object so that it looks nice. It's not really needed, but I put it in there so that I can be looking at something aesthetically pleasing. I used bricks, brick texture, grass texture. That's how I put everything in there. So I just put a textures folder into my models folder. And within that models folder are all of my, within that textures folder are all of my textures, grass textures, stone textures, all this stuff, all this good stuff. So that's what that does. Roughness and metalness, more physics stuff, just having to do with the material that the objects are made of and how it'll react with other objects. You can ignore that for now. So what we're really focusing on is this pose and geometry for now. When you're making your own objects, I suggest that you drag and drop from an object such as this one, could be from the Water World file too, doesn't matter. And then just editing, if you want this to be a sphere, you can put sphere here, but a sphere doesn't have 3 measurements. It only needs 1. It only needs the circumference or the radius. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Google and then put in gazebo. How do I? Gazebo. Let's put in, what would it be? Gazebo parameters for sphere SDF. That's pretty much going to give it to you, right? It'll give you a nice little code block. You know, obviously you have to, this is AI, so you have to check it before you do it. But since I already kind of know that this is going to work, what it's giving us is a radius tag. So that all that goes, so geometry sphere, this is pretty analogous to what we're seeing here. It's ordered a little bit differently, but it's really the same thing. So you got geometry, instead of box, you got sphere. And instead of 3 parameters, you only have 1. Now let's first run this with the object the way that it is. Let's file save. And again, we're not going to colcon build because we don't need to, but remember, if you were using ROS, you would want to colcon build here. And we're going to run this again after we saved all. And look at this. Oh, I said 10 toward us. It's actually 10 backward. I'm thinking backward today for some reason. Who knows why? So what we're gonna do, it would be a lot easier to set this refrigerator on top of this platform if we sort of had everything in the middle, right? So let's go back here. Let's set it to 0. And let's set this refrigerator also to 0. Now I know a lot of you know what's gonna happen. I know you know what's gonna happen. Keep it contained, because for the people who don't know what's gonna happen right now, this is gonna be a revelation. So we're putting this all at 0, 0, 0. Refrigerator pose 0, 0, 0, and we'll give it the same. I'll tell you what, we'll change the rotation to 0 as well so that it's standing up instead of lying down like an old busted refrigerator. So we will save all, and then we got both at 0, 0, 0. Now let's open this. Now this is going to happen to you at some point, and I want you to remember that this is the reason that it's happening. If you already know, then pat yourself on the back. Now, where is our refrigerator? Well, our refrigerator is inside of the block because we put it at coordinate 0, 0, 0. So what we want to do, let's close this. You can close it with Control-C or just close it.
Gonna be real hard to get that
to,
refrigerator.
Yeah, so we're going to want to raise this up. But how much? Oh, sorry. Did someone cut in there? Did someone need some help?
Oh no, I was just making a joke that it's gonna be real hard to get to that refrigerator.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's gonna be worth it though. It's a damn good refrigerator. It's gonna be worth it, I promise. So check this out. How do we figure out? This is the extremely simple but essential linear algebra here. How would we figure out where to put the refrigerator instead of trying to like different numbers and just seeing what works, which you could do, but it's gonna take a while. What can we do to see where to put that refrigerator? Well, we know if we put it at coordinate 0, 0, 0, it will have its bottom directly on 0, 0, 0. Josephine, you have the
I
answer,
was just
don't
gonna say, I have the answer. I'm pretty sure because I used to develop in Unity. So
Beautiful.
like,
oh, this is gonna be a breeze for you. Okay, yeah.
So I can say it if you want me to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it should be half of the height of the box on the Z-axis.
Why? Because it's 0, 0, 0, right?
Yeah, and you gotta just move it up on the Z-axis because that's the height, and you gotta make sure it's half because it's kind of sunk down. If you do the full, it's just going to be hovering above your object.
Exactly. I'm going to open this back up to show what you said because that was I'm really enjoying your contributions, Josephine. They're excellent.
So just to
So look at this.
half
We
because
got
the-
half
the-
of this
the-
island above and half below. Why did the refrigerator, Jose, I'll get to you in a second, but just really quick, why did the refrigerator show up with its bottom, instead of showing up halfway through like this block is? Why did that refrigerator show up that way? Well, that was because the people who live in robotics programmed it that way. So that was by nothing that we did. So if we want to put our own models in, we actually have to, the center of the model will be what appears at the coordinates that you specified. Everyone got that? Perfect. Sorry, Jose, could you go on?
You already said it.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go, man. So I'll tell you what we can do. As Josephine very intuitively said, let's find out, since we know that this is halfway through the XYZ plane, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the size. How big is this? It's 10, sorry. So the height is in the X direction. So it's going to be 10 meters high. So how many meters up do we want to put the refrigerator? Well, what's half of 10? 5. So we're going to go down to refrigerator. We're going to go to the Z. That's the third parameter. And we're going to put a 5 here. File, save all. And again, if you have it running, just Control C to shut that down. Clear. And GZSim new world.sdf. Boom. Refrigerator, the middle of the ocean. Look at this. It's beautiful. We just made that with little help from OpenAI. If you wanted to, you could have made this yourself. I'm not going to go over this here because it's pretty complex, but you could actually, the third way to get models in there is to create your own meshes with a software like Blender or something like that. You can actually put those in. You can make whatever you want. I'm not a Blender guy. If you guys want a tutorial like that, let us know and I'll figure out how to do it just to show you guys how to do it because I kind of am interested too. But I don't want to, waste time if no one else is really interested in that. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Everything that you've learned here so far is pretty much what you need to build a gazebo world. So I'll tell you what, give me 5 minutes. I got to respond to a call real quick. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. And we're going to talk about this, answer questions, maybe do a little bit of world building. Be right back, guys.
Just move this up a little harder. How are you guys liking it?
I am enjoying it a lot so far, except for when my computer randomly kicks me out and decides that I shouldn't be in the meeting.
Josephine, since you've done Unity stuff, were you doing mostly coding or were you doing world building?
I was doing a bit of world building. I didn't do it for very long, but I did a couple world building because I was trying to get into game development.
Mm-hmm.
And so I worked a little bit with everything because I did use the Unity physics engine as well to code in some behaviors. So it's like I just had a bit of experience. It was in high school for my game development class.
Okay. Did you get into anything with Blender or Maya?
No, I didn't get into anything with Blender. I've tried picking it up on my own, but I'm trying to find a tutorial that actually takes you through from the beginning through to the end is really hard. So I haven't. I've basically just got this mismatch of knowledge.
I got you. Hold on, because I'm pretty sure I saw one on. I'm not going to tell you where because if I'm lying, I don't want to get your hopes up. It looked good, and it looks like it's on sale right now. Let me put it in the chat feed. I'm not too interested in stuff like Blender, but I want to learn some. But I also want to learn Fusion 360, and I can get that course for free. So I'm going to do that one first. But on Udemy, they had a course that usually goes for around $100. If you have a local library near you, you can check online. I forget how to do it, but I know you can check online. You can get access to Udemy for free from your local library. But if you're willing,
that's so cool.
Yeah, but if you're willing to pay for it, get it on sale. Like right now, I'm seeing a sale for $20. The course is
Yeah,
normally
I
100.
see that.
Yeah,
And Udemy runs sales every so often. I have bought a couple of their courses, so it's and
so
only when it's on sale because I'm
no.
kind of cheap that
Here's a tip
way.
for you, Demi. If you don't see it on sale, or if you don't like, if you think the sale price is too big, open it incognito and try again.
Oh,
I've gotten courses that, oh, they're on sale for half off, and then I did it incognito a couple of times, and I got it for 80% off.
oh, that's interesting. But yeah, I also live right down the street from my local library, like literally a 5-minute walk. So if it's something that I can also get through my library, it's something I can check out too.
I mean, there's a website you can check which libraries have it. I gotta get on the clubs thing. It's somewhere there. If I find it, I'll give it to you.
Sweet, thanks.
No problem.
Beautiful. So we're going to do one more thing. Those are pretty much the basics. With the skills that we've gone over today, you can make a world just like the one that I showed you at the beginning of this video. Pretty easily. I mean, it takes some time to actually get everything exactly the way you want it, but you can totally make your own world. You can put anything in there that you want, as long as either Open Robotics or some other artist has put it online, or if you can download it through a mesh, or if you can upload it through a mesh, or if you can somehow make it out of basic shapes like I did. The sky's the limit. And remember, this specific stuff isn't going to be used. Like, you're not going to see these kind of worlds in an actual robotics development environment, but this is a great way to have fun while actually learning this stuff. You guys are learning this stuff in a way that is sort of like you're doing something fun and like that you enjoy doing, rather than like, I'm coming at this. Maybe I like coding, but I don't see it as, it's not gamified. Let me know if you guys like would prefer for it to be a little bit like more pure technical. I really like doing things this way. It seems like people are picking up on it. So let me know how you guys feel about that, if you have any feelings about it. So the last thing that we're going to do, so that I can give you guys everything that you need to make your own worlds, we are going to turn that into a sphere. So again, let's look at how this looks. We got the refrigerator on top of our islands. Close this down. We're going to use Control-C this time. So close that down. Now, again, we're going to go, remember, we looked this up. We did our Google search for how to get this done. And we see here that in geometry, we're going to use sphere and radius. So let's just copy sphere and radius. You don't have to copy it if you didn't type what I did in. If you're not seeing the exact same thing, just type this in. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to find geometry. Now, from the box tag, erase the entire box tag and paste the sphere tag. It's not going to be, I kind of like the convention of having everything in the geometry tag on one line and everything in the collision tag on one line. Just kind of looks cleaner to me and easier to find later. But see this radius, we're going to want this to have the same radius as the height of the box. So we don't want our refrigerator, to be floating in the air to fall off. I'll tell you what we can do. Oh, no, we can't. Okay. So we don't want it to fall off. Let's set this to radius 10. That's how tall our tower was, right? So let's set this to radius 10. Who can tell us what we're going to see here? Who can describe what we're about to see? Anyone? I'm going to start having to give out prizes for something. Who can tell us what's about to happen? Jose, I know you probably feel like, I know you probably know what's about to happen.
Giant ball?
What's that?
I'm guessing a giant sphere.
A giant sphere. What's going to be right on top of it, man?
A refrigerator.
Yeah. And we're obviously it's going to be halfway through the XYZ plane, right? Just like our block was. Bada bing. There we go. So let's run this. Oh, make sure we save. Always save, or else you're not going to see what you did. Let's type up twice. gzsimulaworld.sdf. Oh, look what we did, though. We forgot something, didn't we? We forgot something very important. And what we forgot, I forgot. You guys probably didn't. What we forgot was, look at this. We got a box in our collision, and we got a sphere in our geometry. So let's fix that. Let's just copy our sphere tag and then paste it. Get rid of this box in the collision tag, and then paste that in there. File save. We've got the same radius here. Now let's see what happens. Kind of glad I made that mistake. It's a good way to go over this. Okay, what is going on here? What is going on here? Why is this so big? Okay, radius. I was thinking diameter, but it's really okay. So 10 should be 5. For any, I'm sure you guys all know this, but the radius is half of the diameter. I was thinking in the full length of the circle. I should have been thinking in half the length of the circle. Let's try this one more time. File save all. The only thing here is the refrigerator in the North Tower, so that's what we should see. Save and let's run that. Look at this. It's floating a little bit, but that's just a little bit of discrepancy between models. No big deal. We could always, Now let's one more thing. Exit out of there. Just one more thing to show you guys this one extra bit of functionality. Let's go to this refrigerator. Actually, we can't really do it with, there's a way. Okay. So let's go to this North Tower. It's not really a tower anymore. It's kind of like a giant stone ball. Let's go up here to static. Let's change this to false. Probably know what's going to happen, but if you don't, stay tuned. Save all. And close it if you're still running it. If not, cheesysimnewworld.sdf. Now you're going to see the same thing right now, but when I press play, there goes the ball. Not static. Static, for anyone who doesn't know, just pretty much means that it doesn't move. So when you set the object to move, it's going to experience the same physics that it would in the real world, given the current specifications. That's about all that I really need to show you for you guys to be able to do this. Does anyone have any other questions about like how to accomplish this or how this, how to make this work on your system, or does everyone feel pretty confident?
I feel pretty confident, actually.
Yeah, I tried to make it as quick as I could, but like also let you know what you need to do. This is everything you need to make a Gazebo world. Obviously, we're going to want to go into Blender to do some more complex stuff, but it's really not needed at this point. I have some homework for everyone, and you know what? Homework is not what it is. I have a challenge. I will want to issue each one of you personally, from me to you, a challenge to make the coolest, most badass Gazebo world that you possibly can. Next time we meet up, and I really hope I get some participation here. If not, I'm taking the prize. I'm going to see what kind of prize we can get set up, if we can. If not, it'll be a damn good title for your resume. And, courtesy of WiredMinds Robotics Group. But I really want to see you guys put some effort into this. You don't have to have something as complex as what I put together, but I really do want you guys to get into this, because this is going to, it's like there are two ways to get linear algebra into your mind. You can do a bunch of arithmetic, which it's not going to help you, or you can do something like this where what you're doing, you can see what you're doing manifest itself in the virtual world. I think that's a lot more interesting. What do you think about this, Jose? I see that you have some thoughts.
Do the math. And I already won.
Do the math, right? Do the freaking math. And even better, if you get to the point where you can kind of like more or less place things without doing the math on paper, RViz is going to be a lot easier for you.
No, so like having an understanding of linear algebra would help, but a lot of the stuff with moving the things around in like these URDFs, or if you played around in Unity, is a little bit intuitive. Like you might get confused. Oh, when it rotates, oh, it's the other way. But if you understand why it works that way, it'll help you make bigger things easier.
I did have a quick question. Are we able to include variables in these files, to reference?
Josephine, your mind is in exactly the right place. Sorry, Jose, go on. No, take this one, man.
So not by default, XML does not support variable, but somebody did come up with something that will let you do it. So if you go into, it's the URDFs where we're doing the robots, because I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. So where's the launch file? No, where's my robot? I'm trying to find it here.
Come out in the
Yeah, in the area.
XARO file.
Yeah, it's called Zacro.
Yeah.
Zacro? Yeah,
Yeah.
I did remember.
Yeah, so Zacro is the thing that lets you actually put in variables. Well, they're not really variables; they're called property names. It lets
It's
you
like a
create
tag.
something. Yeah, it lets you create something similar to a function, and stuff like that. And then that'll give your XML more power to program, but it's not truly programming.
Okay.
And the cool thing is, Josephine, that's exactly what we do in RViz. We don't really do it in the world files because it's not, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but it's not as necessary. In RViz, we have to do that. So your mind, I don't know if you picked that up from the last tutorial, but your mind is in exactly the right place if that's the question you're asking yourself. How can I make this easier? How can I?
Yeah,
how can I,
because it's like when we're editing the sphere and whatnot and trying to move the thing on top of it, I'm just thinking if we had a variable to store these very common like heights and whatnot, then you could just use that and you don't have to worry about typing in the wrong thing because a lot of times you can just tab in depending on what you have, and it makes it easier to keep track of everything. But if that's not something we're doing in the world files, and it's like, okay, I'll just have to be smarter then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josephine, you better stay with us. You better stay with us. I like the way you think. I think you go far in this.
Learning with you guys.
I fully plan to. I really enjoy this.
What's that? Was that Charles?
I said, yeah, learning with you guys is going to make me 10 times smarter because y'all are thinking way farther ahead than I am.
I'm really glad that we were able to compile this. When we started this group, we were really worried that like people weren't going to, because it is complex, you know, and you can only put so much gamification into lessons. I'm really glad that we were able to find a group of people like you guys who are really interested in doing this, who are competent enough with computers to do it. You know what I mean? I have no problem with questions, but I got to say, when I ask like 10 times during a call, has everyone been able to do this? And no one says anything, or I ask if people have not been able to do this, it's always silence. And it would be fine if it wasn't. It would be fine if, you know, I don't want that to dismotivate anyone from asking for help, but I really do like seeing how everyone's just kind of able to do this stuff. I'm very impressed with you guys. This is great.
I'm just gonna say this: if nobody submits anything, I already won. Then con el camino de la refri. It's already in the chat. Yeah,
exactly. If no one else submits a world, Jose wins by default with his refrigerator Roomba line there.
Oh, if I have time, I'm definitely making something. It might not be his, but I'm making something.
I'm making something.
Yeah,
definitely. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna end up making something too. Like I only work part-time right now, and the term is coming to an end, and then. So I should have time to make something awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's not fair. If I make something only a tenth as good as her, I should win by default. I work full-time and I run the club. No.
No contamos
hey, I work part-time at Walmart, so like that's like working 2 jobs.
Hey, no, I do government contracting. I have to wait for 4 hours just to get access to something.
Well, I'll tell you guys what. I'm sorry to have to go so quickly, but I got to pick some cousins up at the airport. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Feel free to stay in the call. I would love, and you know, whoever's recording right now, or everyone who is recording, keep recording, because I definitely want to hear where this goes, and I know that new people who are joining us will as well. It is an honor to be working alongside people who are serious about this. You know, if anyone has any issues, feel free to reach out to me personally.